Hi, everybody. Welcome to the self-check section 6.2 video. Let's go ahead and take a look at number one. So number one says if the area to the left of x is 0.012, then what is the area to the right? So what we're going to have here is a distribution. It looks something like this. We have a mean in the middle. We don't know what it is. But we do know we have an area starting at x, and to the left of that is 0.012. So that's our area to the left of x. Now the question is, what is the area to the right? And since the entire distribution is 100%, what we need to do is just subtract 1 from our area to the left to get the area to the right. So 1 minus area to the left. And that just equals 1 minus 0.012, and that's just going to be 0.988. So that's the area to the right. Okay, let's go ahead and look at number two now. So number two states the golf scores for a school team are normally distributed with a mean of 68 and a standard deviation of 3. Okay, so find the probability that a randomly selected golfer scored less than 65. So what we want to do here, first thing is draw our distribution. So here's our distribution. It says our mean is 68, and we're looking at a score of 65. So here's 65, and it's saying scored less than 65. So we're going to shade below 65. Okay, so now we want to calculate the probability. So the way we would set up that probability, we're going to use our calculator. But first, let's set up what we would actually put in the calculator. So we would have probability of x less than 65. It's going to be using a normal CDF application. And we're going to have a lower bound, upper bound, mean, and standard deviation. So let's write out what each of these components will be. So my lower bound, I'm looking at to the left of 65. So to the left of 65 is going to go on forever. But what we would use here is negative 999. So in our calculator, our lower limit is negative 9999. Our upper, in the shaded region, the highest we are going to is 65. That's as high as the shaded region goes to. So I'm going to put 65 for my upper, excuse me. $65, and our mean is 68, and our standard deviation is 3. So now we're going to put all this in our calculator. So let me jump to our calculator. So here is calculate 84. And so we're going to go to second distribution. We're going to go to normal CDF, and we're going to input in exactly what we have written on our paper. So it was negative 9999, comma 65, comma 68, comma 3. And we just hit enter, and we get our probability. So remember, it's 4 decimal places, but it's going to be 0.1586. Let me round up to 7. So let's jump back to the notes. So our probability is going to be 0.1587. So this probability right here is 0.1587. Okay, let's go ahead and try the next one. So probability that a golfer scored between 66 and 70. So we're going to do the same process here. We're going to draw a distribution. 68 is our mean. And now we're between 66 and 70. So we're trying to find this middle portion right here. So same thing, we want to set up our calculator work. So let's go ahead and do that. So probability, this X is going to be between 66 and 70. So this is going to be normal CDF. And the lowest shaded region is going towards is 66 and the highest is 70. So my lower is 66 and the upper is 70, and my mean and standard deviation are still the same. Okay, so let's jump to our calculator and put this information in. So calculate 84 again for the second distribution, excuse me, second bars, normal CDF, and let's input our numbers. So we have 66, comma, 70, comma, 68, comma, and 3. And we hit enter, and we get our probability, 0.4950. So let me go ahead and write that down. So we get 0.4950. And that's this shaded region right here. That's exactly what we found. That area right there. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to number 3. Now we're going to find cutoff values or K values. So in the United States, the ages of 13 to 55 plus of smartphone users approximately follow a normal distribution with approximate mean and standard deviation of 36.9 years and 13.9 years respectively. So it wants us to find the percentile, the 30th percentile. Okay. So what we need to do is draw our distribution. We have our mean of 36.9, and we're trying to find the 30th percentile. So knowing that this whole distribution is 100%, this whole distribution is 100%. I know 30% is going to be a pretty low value on the left. So I'm assuming K is going to be right there. Okay, so here's K, and third percentile means everything below it. And so what I know is that in here is 30%. So when we're trying to find a cutoff value, what I need to do is use inverse norm. So what I would have set up here is K equals inverse norm. And I'm looking at the 30th percentile. So it's going to be 0.30. My mean is still 36.9. And my standard deviation is still 13.9. Okay, so that's my setup. Let's go to our calculator and see how to input this in. So calculate 84. We're going to go to same place, second bars, and then I'm going to choose the inverse norm option. So here's our prompts. It says area. That's just our 0.30. Going to put the comma in there. We're going to have our mean 36.9, comma, and our standard deviation, which is 13.9. So now all we do is just hit enter and we get our value. So 29.6. So that's our cutoff value. That's our 30th percentile. So let me jump back. So what we found is 29.6. So that means this value right here, this K, is 29.6. That's our 30th percentile. All right, so let's move on to question B. Question B is what is the probability? So now we're trying to find probability again that the age of a randomly selected smartphone user in the specified age range is less than 27 years old. Okay, so now we're jumping back to probability and let's go ahead and draw that distribution. Okay, so our mean is still the same, 36.9. I'm trying to find the probability less than the age of 27. So 27 is right there below the mean. And I'm trying to find probability less than that age. So I'm going to shade everything to the left. Okay, so here is a shaded region that I want to find. I don't know what that is, and my goal is to figure out what that shaded region is. So what I need to do here is set up my probability. So X less than 27, everything less than 27. That's going to be normal, CDF. And remember, when everything is less than, we're going off to negative 999. Just a really big number to the left. So this would be negative 9,999. 27 is my upper bound. My mean is still 36.9. And my standard deviation is still 13.9. So let's jump to the calculator and put this in here. So second bars, normal CDF, negative 9,999, 27. Our mean is still 36.9, and our standard deviation is 13.9. So we hit enter and we get our probability 0.23816. So we're going to round up to 2. All right, so let's write this down. So we have a probability of 0.2382. And so this probability right here is going to be 0.2382. Okay. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.